we're actually just, in a very small correction right now in a larger bull market that is still unfolding. And then if you zoom out for the complete 2025 as a fiscal year, I think it's going to be pretty bullish still. Like, we're not done yet with the liquidity cycle. Sure, we see some short-term pullbacks here and there, but let 2025 play out, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be, for the economy overall, a very good year. Solana is like almost 5 years old now, not yet, but almost 5 years in terms of the mainnet, right? So we're not a baby anymore. We're now a teenager. So we grew out of the stage where the network crashes all the time. So sometimes you still read it in the kind of boomer newspaper when they talk about Solana. They always, the Solana blockchain always has outages, but this time is over. Like, those guys are still living in the past. It's not going to happen. Period. In terms of transaction speed, the throughput we have on the chain, the fees, it's only getting better. That's what I'm saying. Bullish on the fundamental side of things, on the technical side of things. Adoption of the blockchain is also going up. Market cap is going higher. Holders of the token going higher. Utilities going up. All numbers are going up, literally. Reputable applications on Solana that are being used go up. All the DEXs on Solana, Jupiter, Drift, Flashshade, all the big ones, Orca, Radium, insane numbers in terms of TVL and usage. So everything goes up and to the right. So if I look at that network, it's really hard to be bearish on Solana. If you want to be bearish on it, sure, go ahead. Give me some reasons why. You won't be happy in Dubai if you are. It won't change your happiness if you're naturally an unhappy person. It won't change anything. So it's not a quick fix or something. It might make it even worse, because Dubai can be very exhausting, because you have the percentage of people here that I would say are maybe not as positive and not as genuine, interested in you, and like, it's not the place where the most loving and kind humans live. Let's put it that way. Like, that's at least, So that is something that can be exhausting. So I wouldn't go here if you're completely alone. If you don't know anyone here, if you're coming here alone, I think it can be tough, honestly.
Здравейте на всички! Днес на гости ми е Симеон, който е един от кофаундърите на Solana ID. Той е човек, който работи в блокчейн специалностите в крипто, вътре deep dive най-вече в Solana. И така той ще ни сподели вътре инсайт, алфа и информация, която, да кажем, всеки от вас го интересува. И най-вече като човек с много опит, ето той в момента се намира в Дубай и ми отдели от времето си да запишеме този подкаст. И също така подкаст ще бъде на английски, все пак той е от Германия, но предимно ще говорим на английски. И все пак за тези от вас, които случайно не знаете, има субтитри отдолу, може да ги пуснете. И в такъв случай вече можем да преминем към самия епизод. So, Simon! Nice to meet you, buddy.
Thank you, Trasti. Kaksti, man. How's it going?
Very fine, very fine. How are you?
I'm good.
So it was a pleasure to invite you on my channel to introduce yourself to my audience. So who are you? What are you working for? So what do you do for a living? The major question.
Yeah, for sure. So I think I wear many hats. But my main job is being the co-founder and CEO of the identity protocol on the Solana blockchain called Solana ID. So we're a blockchain startup. We're building a product on chain. We have a utility token attached to the project as well. We've been around for a long time. We work together with the Solana Foundation on a few technical things, and we also have very good investors on board since last year that are backing us. So that's taking most of my time, that job, but I'm also advising a few projects on Solana in various things, mostly in marketing, distribution, product, sales, and finance. And then I am also investing actively in both, just in liquid tokens, so when they are launched, but I also do some private rounds and angel investments in early projects, because I might have some alpha here and there, just because I work so deeply inside the Solana ecosystem.
Okay, trading too. You like to trade?
Yeah, that's a hobby.
A little bit.
Yeah, just for fun.
Okay, can you tell us what was your personal crypto story? Because in my channel, we go firstly into the people's crypto story. What was the first time when you hear about Bitcoin, crypto, etc.?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, it actually started with Solana. So I ended up where it started. In between, I've been on many other blockchains. I did a lot on Ethereum as well. I invested also in many various ecosystems, not only Solana, but it all began on the major DEX on Solana, which is Radium, when it launched back in 2021. And I started to use Radium just to experiment. That was my first kind of touch point with crypto. And yeah, I actually just put like 1K or 2K USD in my Radium account to see, you know, like what I can do with it. I was completely new to it. And I started trading a little bit. I made like a 10x. I think that was just luck, honestly, just clicking buttons. So I just swapped it for some tokens very early on. The token still exists. I think it was HawkFi. It was the Ray token, the Radium token itself. And they just kind of performed really well. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know how, but it seems like I can make money here. And then I started to take the profits and put them in a liquidity pool. I, you know, started to understand a little bit the decentralized finance components of it. And then it kind of sparked, you know, then I understood, hey, shit, I can actually do banking services and financial services completely decentralized with no bank inside of my Radium account. I can swap currencies. I can provide liquidity. I quickly found out there's lending, there's borrowing. So there's a lot of kind of finance applications. And that sparked my interest. I fell down the rabbit hole in crypto, and I decided to work full-time in the industry. And then I quit my past job as a venture capital investor and went full-time into crypto. And yeah, now I'm here.
Oh, very interesting. So you make a very nicely transition about the TradFi world into the crypto world. Yeah, this is very interesting because those people which I know which made these transitions are very open-minded. Their IQ is very high actually, and they see the world differently. And actually, people like you it's very hard and difficult to find the community. People like to surround yourself with it, to make a quality conversation with them. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, you know what I'm talking.
Yeah.
So interesting the story that you didn't know about Bitcoin first, just Solana.
I mean, I knew about Bitcoin, but I didn't participate in it. I didn't hold any. So it started with Solana, really.
What was the price of Bitcoin there, if you can remember?
Bro, I don't remember. Like, I could guess, but I can tell you in like 30 seconds. But it was, I mean, it was fairly, like I said, it should be end of 2020 or 2021. So back then,
about 20K, let's say, yeah.
Where in the cycle have we been there? I think it was still, it was still before the bigger cycle. So it was actually below 15K. Like, it was end of 2020. It must have been around that time. So it was not like, I think COVID hadn't happened yet even. So, you know, like sometime 2020, I started to play around with it. And yeah, like I said, it was, like prices were good. I think, let's say 10K Bitcoin probably.
10K Bitcoin, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, before we deep dive into crypto, let's talk about the macro, the big picture. So, you know, it's very important to discuss because I know so many people are just deep diving into crypto, but you know, man, when the macro is shit, crypto is going shit. So we know everything people want is crypto to be uncorrelated asset class from the big traditional markets. But on this moment, this is kind of stupid, man. You know, this is like nonsense to me. Yeah. So what are your current thoughts about the global economy and the financial markets for 2025?
I think we need to zoom out as always. Like, people are always so focused on the short term. They always zoom in. Like, even right now, it's a perfect example. We're in a very healthy, small correction. It's not even a biggie. Like, what is, like, I think we went down maybe 20% on Solana, which is in crypto. It's just a normal Wednesday.
Not big deal.
Like, yeah, no, it's not a big deal. Obviously, in TradFi, you know, 20% might be a bigger impact. But all I'm saying is, if you zoom out in the chart, if you literally put just the daily chart on it, you look at Bitcoin, you look at Solana, you look at the kind of major cryptocurrencies, but you can do the same in TradFi and just zoom out on the Nasdaq and the S&P and so on, and you will see that we're actually just, you know, in a very small correction right now in a larger bull market that is still unfolding. And then if you zoom out for the complete 2025 as a fiscal year, I think it's going to be pretty bullish still. Like, we're not done yet with the liquidity cycle. Sure, we see some short-term pullbacks here and there, but let 2025 play out, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be, for the economy overall, a very good year. There's much more money and liquidity coming into the markets. US is not going to slow down at trying to stimulate, And I think with that being said, we saw what happened when they did it before, 2 years ago, and even last year to an extent. And it will happen again this year. So my thesis for 2025 is that we're going to see a pretty choppy and kind of rough road ahead with a lot of ups and downs that will probably make people lose money that are forgetting to zoom out. But if you are a bit patient and if you keep your calm, I think 2025 is going to be a very good bull market still, that you can wait and sit out until we reach some highs. I would even say that we could extend in 2026, in my opinion, for new highs. So I will watch closely my crypto holdings because I think we still have time until we're topping.
Before I further dive into the macro question, you have some crypto holdings, but in terms of your own net worth, how much percent is crypto in your portfolio?
Yeah, 99.
99. Okay. That's satisfying answer. Okay. So what are your current thoughts about the Fed's monetary policy in the USA? You know that last meeting, the market price that maybe on the end of the January it can do pause on the interest rate. So it's kind of make a so hawkish stance about his sentences about the market, and Wall Street guys actually didn't quite respond this well, because if you see the bond market, every 10-year yield is screaming higher. The yield from the treasuries are going higher. So the US debt is going parabolic. So they must to monetize this debt, man, because it's screaming that something you're gonna broke. Something is gonna...
But then I think it's not new to us, isn't it? Like we've seen this since probably a decade. Like we know those problems exist. They just don't go away, and they get more. But we're not at a moment where I see this imploding, really. So I think that's why I'm bullish, because I think US is going to do what the US is doing best, which is stimulating, trying to keep the baby alive, and let it grow up. And I think this is going to happen for a bit longer. Do we need to see some shift at some point? Yes, for sure. Is it going to be this year? I don't think so, not yet. Especially not now that we need to see the change in government. Trump is completely new in the government. He can't really back down now and slow down on economic growth. Opposite, like he needs to freaking pour liquidity into the cycle and make numbers go up. And I think he'll do that to an extent at all cost, to an extent. And then we might see the clash a bit later, right?
2026, for example, yeah.
For example, right? But I wouldn't predict any kind of big drama, black swan kind of explosion yet. That's always kind of...
It's like doomsday. A modern to predict these things nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. Like every year, someone is predicting, now it's going to crash. Now it's going to crash. But then they're always wrong. But until they're not, sure, okay, I got it. But I think you're still away from that moment, honestly.
Okay, so what are your thoughts about the Trump coming mandate? Like 25th of January or 20 January, I think.
Yeah, it's very soon.
So what are your current thoughts? Because I see a lot of controversial topics about it, that it says, the Bitcoin is going up. Now it's the price. Is start of the mandate. So it will be sell the news, of course. What are your current thoughts about it?
I think we look at the chart. Like 5th of November, we saw a huge green candle when everything, there was kind of the spark for the next leg up, right? We saw this play out, but then we also now saw the big correction again. So I think right now the change or the inauguration of Trump will be a next event for a leg up, honestly. Like I think it's going to start soon, probably before the 20th of January. Now we're on the 9th. Yeah, so we still have like 10 days to initiate a small dump and then go up from there. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're close to seeing a bottom, in my opinion, right now, at least in crypto, like a local bottom. We didn't retrace a lot, but like 92, 91K Bitcoin. We might see an 8 at the beginning, but I don't think we're going to go to 80, 75. I think we're going to see maybe a minor retracement. I'm personally just waiting right now for like reversal signals and holding even a few longs still that I just I sit it out, you know, because I think we're going to see the next leg up. And I think it's the 20th of January when Trump is going to go in office. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was actually nice food for thought about the coming month. But actually, if you see the market in terms of seasonality, you know when some asset class like crypto maturing and big players in it are involving, like say big Wall Street guys, funds like BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, etc. You know this market becomes like more like traditional markets.
Sure.
You can't ignore the seasonality, man, because it's there. Just watch. If I with my friend, we just laugh about if you are bullish between May and September, you're kind of crazy. You know what are you expecting between May and September? So this asset class is becoming like TradFi. So.
But we still have some time until May, right? Like, that's a good thing. Like we still,
go away. The next question that I have to you is, what are your current thoughts about the crypto cycle? Where are we in the crypto cycle? We mostly have Bitcoin season. 2 years maybe Bitcoin season when the dominance is only rising up. Outs are very struggling, accepting Sui and others hot narratives in this. So what are your current thoughts about the market cycle, crypto, and where are we?
So here's what's going to happen. We're going to go more up in the next months until the summer. So I think that's going to be probably potentially a new high, or at least we're going to scratch on the 110K Bitcoin and so on. I don't think, not necessarily will we see a huge green candle yet in the first half of the year. So I think we might top, somewhere close now, but we will see more momentum upwards. And I'm talking about global crypto sector, all market caps together, right? And then I think we're going to see the correction coming middle of the year, one more leg down. And it might be a larger one as well, not like 30K Bitcoin, but it might be quite a retracement. And then there's going to be an end of the year rally, because as you said, patterns do repeat and seasons play a role right now, especially in crypto as well. And I think that's how this year might play out. So I think new all-time highs are still in the end of the year to be expected, like the big ones. That's what I'm waiting for. But I think there's even money to be made in the next 3 months with some more upswings. Bitcoin dominance should go down technically in the next 3-4 months as well. So while Bitcoin might reach 110, 120K maybe tops in the first half of the year, I think that the dominance at the same time will either go sideways or down. So we already saw it initiating, like we saw the reversal of the dominance. It's not so easy to do TA on the dominance chart really, but you can look at what happened historically. And what happened historically was at this moment of the cycle, after the halving and after everything that happened, you see a leg down, you see a small recovery. That's where we are right now on the Bitcoin dominance. We're like 57%-ish, I don't know, right now. But we did cross the 55. And I think we're going to see the larger leg down, which is going to be the altcoin season, as we like to call it, because we see some circulation from capital from Bitcoins into other sectors, especially in the hot narratives that are right now on the table.
So like a good summary. So to summarize this, you're expecting a similar cycle to previous, like 2021?
I think so. If I think about it, I didn't say that, but now what I said, I think was similar to back then.
Yeah, so let's say a larger correction during the summer, and maybe after September, October to pick up on one more leg up.
Yeah.
To finish.
Look, markets are usually they're driven by psychology, right? By human psychology a lot, and that's why they play out like this, because we expect something to happen, and then usually it happens because everyone is expecting it to happen and is betting in the same. So don't bet against the market. Don't bet against the psychology of the market, which has played out before. Never take history as an example for the future. Sure, things change, but again, zooming out, they are patterns, and we can follow them. One last comment, actually. I love the Bitcoin rainbow chart with the colors, the logarithmic one. I love to look at that chart because you can actually see two things. You see very nicely where we are in the cycle, and it's foolproof, man. Like you literally see where we are, and it's almost right now we're in the lower zone of the rainbow, which is usually zones that are in past cycles, kind of corrections, small corrections inside a larger bull market. But you also see that the peaks of each bull cycle, so the top of each bull cycle, on the logarithmic chart is reaching lower levels.
Diminishes. Diminishes.
Yes, each cycle. Why? Because of what you said, right? It's a maturing asset class, big players are in it, and so on. But it's going to happen right now again. So yes, there's room to go up in the rainbow chart to around 130, 140, 150, 160. That's at least what the chart is, the range is. But we won't cross the red zone in the chart anymore, which is like the upper boundary of the logarithmic curve that you put on the Bitcoin. So I can only recommend people to look at, like, just Google Bitcoin rainbow chart and look at it. It's like so easy to use.
Okay, man. Now it's your topic, your main topic. So let's get deep dive into Solana. So what your current expectation about it, about the blockchain, about the ecosystem? Adoption, it has grown significantly, outperforms Ether on all other major layer ones.
So here's the thing. Like, let's start with the technical fundamentals. Solana is like almost 5 years old now. Not yet, but almost 5 years in terms of the mainnet, right? So we're not a baby anymore. We're now a teenager. So we grew it out of the stage where the network crashes all the time. So sometimes you still read it in the kind of boomer newspaper when they talk about Solana. They always, the Solana blockchain always has outages, but this time is over. Like, those guys are still living in the past. It's not going to happen. Period. So we're done with the technical issues on the chain itself. Second, Solana has proven to be the fastest and cheapest chain over and over. Solana has proven to be able to facilitate a high amount of volume and transactions. Meme coin cycle was a stress test, and it put boundaries on the network. We saw April last year, we saw transactions not going through because it was just congested. But it was great because Solana Foundation and the tech team, Solana Labs, is working on it, and it's much quicker now. They're shipping updates to the mainnet all the time. Right now, I think a new validator standard is also ready to roll out. The mainnet is not out yet for this technology, but they are in kind of a beta version already. And then once this is out, it's going to do a lot of technical improvements on the chain as well. And like I said, it's almost there already. So again, in terms of transaction speed, the throughput we have on the chain, the fees, it's only getting better. That's what I'm saying. Bullish on the fundamental side of things, on the technical side of things. Adoption of the blockchain is also going up. Market cap is going higher. Holders of the token going higher. Utilities going up. All numbers are going up, literally. Reputable applications on Solana that are being used go up. All the DEXs on Solana, Jupiter, Drift, Flashshade, all the big ones, Orca, Radium, insane numbers in terms of TVL and usage. So everything goes up and to the right. So if I look at that network, it's really hard to be bearish on Solana. If you want to be bearish on it, sure, go ahead, give me some reasons why. But in my opinion, I'm a bit biased because I'm a builder on Solana and I own a lot and so on. But I think we're not there yet in terms of price. That's what people want to know. I gave you the reasons for it, like some of them, maybe half. And the price itself has room to grow past $300 for sure. So do we see 1K? I don't know. That's a stretch. I know the people preaching it. I don't know. What do you think about the people that call 1K Solana? Do you think it's realistic?
So first,
there would be a 4x.
4x from here. Okay, right now we are talking about around 100k billions. 100 billions market capitalization.
100 billion market cap.
So my realistic target is around 700, man. You know, realistic.
Yeah.
Everything else above that, it's welcome. but it's about like a little bit moon boy target. If you ask me, so what are your current expectations about potential Solana ETF? Actually,
I think that's going to come at some point. They're going to push for it. We saw it already, filings and so on. Like people are already trying. I think we can see it this year. It's gonna give a bit of some. It's gonna give a bit of support, but it won't, be the main driver for a new all-time high. But I think it will play in the cards. We've seen it play out with Bitcoin and Ethereum, so we know what happens, what we can expect. But it's going to be super healthy for the long-term growth because it will bring new ways of capital inflow, same than it does for Ethereum. But it's not the single most important thing that's going to happen. Again, you see it with Ethereum. Ethereum got an ETF, and it still didn't do well in the past 12 months since then, in my opinion, compared to other assets. So yeah, I think ETF might be coming, but won't mean the world for Solana.
Okay. And other thing to say about it, that Crypto Casino is actually built on Solana. If you see every meme coin, every cam sheet is actually built on Solana, on Radium, etc. And it has that, like you said, enormous volumes, TVL and etc. It's actually people that came in crypto to gamble will build on Solana.
Yeah, even if they don't really care. They just, because they don't come for Solana, they come for the token they want to buy. They come for the memes. The fact that it's built on Solana is only because it's the only chain that can support such a system with the speed and the transaction fees. So
what are your current thoughts about? I think it was maybe a little bit problem about Solana, about the big, huge data centers and the data storage that they must to save all this data on the blockchain.
I mean, that, like I said again, this is like the whole topic around the decentralization of the blockchain that was usually an issue and so on. It was quite difficult to run validators. They're quite expensive and so on. But it got much better, and it keeps getting much better. And I think as well, like I said earlier, there's more technical advancements on the chain as well that are playing a very important fact in decentralizing the chain more. So we're seeing more decentralization. It's getting easier to run validators on chain. We see an increase in the amount of validators that's being spun up all the time. Solana Foundation right now has one of the main priorities to increase the amount of validators and the decentralization of the system. So I think they're on the right way regarding that topic.
So what are your current opinion about the most, let's say, bullish projects that are who are built on Solana, let's say, in the Solana ecosystem? If you can give us some alpha.
Yeah. So I think there's a few I could name. Let's start with the more major ones that I think are still interesting to look at. One of the best DeFi platforms on Solana is Camino. Camino Finance, KMNO is the ticker. It's a token that has performed pretty well in the past 6 to 12 months, in my opinion. And Camino is kind of a, all kinds of use case DeFi platform for Solana, where you can engage in everything, lending, borrowing. They have a multiply function where you can basically take a higher loan and then get higher leverage on yields, which is great. So they have a lot of TVL in all their tokens, and I think Camino has a good future. So together with maybe Drift, another DEX on Solana, that I also think is really good prepared for something interesting. They also just recently launched a prediction market as a kind of second product suite next to the Drift DEX. So Drift, Camino, pretty good and solid projects. There's a few new upcoming token launches that I would watch. There's a restaking protocol on Solana where you can basically take the staked SOL that you have to run or to secure the network. You can stake your Solana and you can restake your staked Solana in some protocols, and Sol Layer is one of them. And Sol Layer is launching their token. It's called Layer. That's going to come around February. So it's an upcoming TG that I would watch. I think that's pretty interesting. What's going on there. And then another one of my kind of maybe a bit more alpha because it's a smaller project, but I'm very close with the team and I like the product. I use it myself. You see it maybe in my Instagram. It's called Flash Trade, and it's a decentralized exchange on Solana. And they're also launching a token very soon. And they have a very interesting way of launching their token, a bit different than everyone else. So Flash Trade is also coming up. I think it should come up this or next month. They've been delaying a bit the token launch, but that's also something I would watch. What else? Lastly, maybe if you want to tap into the AI sector a little bit,
of course.
There's like a lot happening there right now. We can talk a bit more about the whole agent space, but in terms of AI overall, I think people forget about Grass, for example. So Grass Network is one of the kind of major DeepIn networks that has launched in 2024, I think. And I think they are still they're a bit forgotten right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think a little bit misunderstood as well. So I think they can, they have a fairly small market cap right now compared to other projects. So it could be still interesting to own some Grass as well. And then obviously there's the whole agent thing, but that's.
So what is your opinion about this AI agents trend?
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's huge. It's true. it's not just noise. There's a lot of noise right now, but it is a huge topic. The technology itself actually makes sense, right? Meme coins were nice and fun, but they didn't really bring us any value. Exactly. So what they helped us was stress test the Solana network and make it better. So that's a good thing. That's why I say it's a nice, they put a lot of pressure on the Solana system and we made it better. They also meme coins helped us to move away from token cabals, we name them. So basically token launches that are just managed by VC funds, market makers, big exchanges, and so on, and the community is kind of left out. Meme coins were the opposite of that. Meme coins were very community-centric, community-first, and you basically launched a very low market cap and then you ride the wave up. We learned from that. Even tokens like my token or other companies that are doing utility projects, they learned from that and they became more community-centric again. So more and more founders I observe right now don't want to pay a lot of listing fees anymore for exchanges. They're more happy with listing on-chain versus off-chain. So we see these things as a result from meme coins. So all that is great, but agents are actually coming not only with a nice story like memes, but they actually come with a fucking great internet technology that can revolutionize a lot of things. We humans are fucking inefficient as a worker. We need to sleep. We have emotions. We need to eat. We get bored. We're not, machines are much better. That's why we have robots building cars and not humans, right, anymore. Why not having robots in the internet doing internet jobs? And agents are exactly that. And they are smart robots because they can think like humans. You just give them a mission and they will execute on that mission. And it's so exciting to see what's happening in that space. You can literally observe some of the agents right now that are active, how they think. Like there's certain terminals that you can access where you can actually see how the agent is processing data and how he's thinking to make a decision on top of it. So you see how the agent is reading a tweet, what he thinks about it, and how he should respond. And then you see him responding to it. It's very interesting how they maneuver and how they work. And then maybe the last bullish take I have on this whole sector is they are very bullish for crypto because agents can utilize crypto technology to govern their assets, to make transactions to each other. They have their own crypto wallets. So they bring a lot of utility. I think my thesis is that more than 30% of the on-chain transactions will be made by agents in the near future, like not too long in the future. So basically, a lot of human activity will be replaced by agent activity. So that's all bullish.
So very interesting. So, I just followed the virtual protocol AI16Z. You heard about it. It's a lot of retail FOMO, but in my opinion, it don't get as much attention or attraction from the retails as
not yet, maybe.
I am expecting. That's my thoughts, my opinion. What's your opinion about it?
So here's one reason why that might be the case. They are like meme coins, right? They are usually they're kind of launched community-centric without a big company behind them. So what happened is that a lot of centralized exchanges are just not listing them yet.
Yes,
So a few small ones, they start to list them. You have some perp trading going on, but there's no tier one Coinbase, Binance listings of those agents yet.
Not much liquidity on the big player, like liquidity provider like Binance. That's right.
Yeah. So that's still something we're waiting for. So I'm actually today I'm looking at the charts all the time, because right now it's a nice moment to buy in, because they've been going up only for the past 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like it was vertical up, like AR16Z went up like this, virtuals went up like this.
10x.
So that's crazy. And like right now we're actually seeing a very nice kind of leg down, which might be a good idea to consider again to getting in, because I think there's much more room to breathe.
You, for summarize, you're bullish on AI agents.
I am bullish on AI agents. I'm bullish on everything they do in terms of their tech. And I'm bullish on also projects that are building tooling, infrastructure, laying the groundwork for agents, which is basically virtuals, for example, because they're building an agent launchpad, right? Or AR16Z has ELIZA, which is the AI toolkit that can spin up new agents. So it's all tooling. It's all kind of, they all have products. And if you understand the tokenomics behind these projects, then it becomes very bullish, because what they usually do is they have fees associated with spinning up new agents. People have to pay money, right, to spin up new agents and to do certain things on their platform. Those fees that the platform earns, that Virtual earns or Cerebro earns or so on, those fees are used to buy back their own token. So it's kind of a burn buyback mechanism. So all the money they make will accrue in the token, which is one of the most bullish tokenomics models you can do. So I think it just makes a lot of sense.
That's why the chart looks so parabolically. Yeah.
I think that gave the last push because when they announced these things, when they announced all the tooling they built and how the fees are being used, the first big leg up was just meme narrative and kind of people, aping in. That was the first big leg up. But then the next push around Christmas until now, that came from the whole idea of, actually the token will have a value mechanism behind it. It's not just a meme coin. It's not just like the big ones. They're not just, there's a lot of agent tokens that are just memes. Don't get me wrong. So you have to kind of
that was my next question. So how can we, like retail, it's important to say, can pick only the winners and protect ourselves from all other losers in this?
Yeah. Well, that's the holy grail question, right?
Absolutely.
So I probably don't have the perfect answer to this, but there's a few things you can do. It starts with educating yourself and researching a bit. Maybe listen to people like yourself that are a bit deeper into the topics. Like your job is to make the right research and then educate the people about, look, this is actually an agent. This token has a tokenomic model behind it. This has potential future. And then you can also distinguish between the ones that are just noise, right? And are literally the token is just like 90-80% of the agents that have a token, the token doesn't really have any meaning behind. It's a meme coin, literally, right? A meme coin with an agent. But if you put a utility to it, then it becomes really interesting. So I think you need to listen to the thought leaders in the space, find the right creators and people that do podcasts and so on, like yourself. Listen to them and then do a little bit of your own research, check the protocols out, right? Like if you want to invest in virtuals, go on the website, look what the product is doing, at least take 5 minutes or 10 minutes to read the documentation, to have like a rough idea of what they do.
Okay, thoughts about XRP? It is going to the moon, man. What's next?
XRP is it was never interesting to me. So I never started to really concern myself with it. I think here's two things that are on my mind regarding XRP. I think they are here to stay. They don't go away because they just have too much cash. If I'm not mistaken, their treasury is so big they can survive for 100 years, literally 100 years. So they have too much money. That is why they also suck a little bit, because if you have too much money, you get comfy and you're not hungry anymore. So that's why we've seen like years of sideways movement. Can they do more? For sure. Is it an exciting project? Are there other opportunities? Yes. So for me, it's just not a personal thing that interests me. I think there's too many other opportunities that could perform better. Is it smart to hold it in your portfolio if you have like a very diversified set? Sure. Why not? Right. I think chances are high it goes up and down. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So what are your current thoughts about the other layer ones like Sui, Aptos, Sei, Injective, and other protocols?
Bro, I'll be very honest with you. Again, too much noise, and I'm pretty bearish on them. Like, I think we have too many. We don't need all these layer ones. I think most of them, they're just inferior compared to Solana. Again, I'm biased, but why would I bet on the inferior chain? You know, maybe the technology is okay. Maybe some of them, Monero or no, not Monero, Monad. Maybe Monad has better technology than Solana. Sure, interesting. Some people argue that, but they're also very new, and we've seen how difficult it was for Solana to compete with Ethereum. It was fucking difficult because Ethereum had the head start. They have much more time to build a developer community, a holder base, dApps, like the whole thing you need for network effects to kick in for exponential growth. Solana did that, like they did it. But the others now to do the same thing, I think it's too late, man. Like that's why I think that, you know, train has left the station for many of these protocols. I wouldn't bet on their long-term success. Like if people hold them in their portfolio right now as an altcoin strategy, it can work out now in the kind of upcoming altcoin season. We're probably going to see some influx there. But I just wouldn't bet on the long-term success with them. Like if I want long-term backs, just put Bitcoin in there, put Solana in there, probably call it a day.
Yeah,
like for the long term.
So in terms of portfolio allocation, what is your opinion? Let's say random guy has 100K total portfolio. How is the most optimal to position into crypto market in terms of altcoins, Bitcoin, different crypto asset allocation? And the other question, is it a good choice to buy an old project?
An old project?
Yeah, old project like Polkadot, Avalanche, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to, if we want to give a good advice on that, we need to kind of make a persona of the person I'm advising, because the answer is different for different people, right? Maybe someone wants to hold a year, the other one. So let's say you're a long-term holder. Let's say you have like a 4-year plus time horizon.
We're speaking only of the end of this cycle.
Only. Oh, okay, okay, that makes a difference. Okay, on the end of the cycle, I think I would bet on the hot narratives. Honestly, like I would bet on a few agents in smaller percentage, like maybe 20% of the overall 100K. I'll put a little bit in the agents, especially the big ones. I bet on that narrative and the tooling around the agents. So things that are building tools for the agent-centric internet as well, right? And then that's one thing. Then I would do a big bet on Solana. So I think the token has good potential and high potential versus low risk profile. So I think Solana is kind of very nice middle case for that. All the other L1s that you have right now, including Aptos or like Phantom, I hear a lot about as well. Sui, sure, like all those guys, they might do well, but the risk is higher than compared to Solana right now. So I would definitely allocate a much smaller chunk to these guys compared to Sol. I personally, I'm not very bullish in Ethereum anymore, so I think you can keep it if you want. It won't go to zero, I'm pretty sure of that, but you won't see crazy multiples. So again, it might be the opportunity cost you have versus other assets might be too high, so wouldn't include it.
So what do you think about the original AI projects like Render, Tao, Fetch, etc.?
I think they have still potential, but the problem is that the liquidity might be pulled away from them to the new place, to the new narrative, if we're talking about this cycle. The risk profile is a bit higher here because it's difficult to pick the right ones, as you said earlier, for the new narratives. But if you put the biggest bets on the high market cap new agent tokens, and only a few smaller bets on emerging agents, small ones, then I think it's a good strategy, and leave the old AI things a bit out. There's a few exceptions like Grass. So I think it would be very difficult to say all of the old AI plays are bad or good, but you can pick a few ones that make sense. Right now, I think maybe Ionet and Grass on Solana are two interesting ones I would watch.
You say that you're not bullish on it overall. So the big question here comes that okay, but it is necessary for it to be strong to see a major altcoin season.
Not really. I mean, it could go sideways, like it did in the past 12 months. So while everything else was pumping, it went kind of sideways. So we don't need to see liquidity pouring into ETH. The biggest problem ETH has right now, it's too complex, it's too complicated, it's too fragmented through all the layer 2s. The layer 2s are eating away market cap from the layer 1, literally, because like they're so expensive. Like the L2s raised a shitload of money. They did huge funding rounds. They did high valuation token sales when they went live with their tokens, all the layer 2s, and all that money didn't flow into Ethereum. If you think about it. But it's on the same network, right? It's on the same network. But then the question now is, how will the activity of these other layer 2 networks, how will this activity will increase the value of each of the asset? Like, how will it trickle down to the base layer that provides the security, which is Ethereum, the L1? I haven't heard a great answer yet to that question. Many people, I think, like many people that are very good at tokenomics and that understand the Ethereum network, they think about this question. There's a few Bankless episodes that I listened to that were kind of good around that topic. But I want to understand better, like, how does the L2 centric roadmap of Ethereum, which means we need as many L2s as possible, how does that play into a higher ETH price? It's a very difficult topic. I can't unpack it myself personally. Technically, I don't know. But there's people that can do it better than myself. I would personally, if you are interested in Ethereum, I would concern myself with that question before I invest.
So overall, what are your current so let's say expectations in the crypto from the next coming months? But in terms of, let's say, to put some price to have your analysis that this current state of the market you're expecting next to come till April, about the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, all projects that you follow.
I think I said it earlier, and I said I'll remain with the same opinion. That once the small correction is over right now, it's going to go up again. So people are getting scared right now. Some will, lose their long positions or sell their crypto right now. We're going to wash out those people, and then we're going to see a small run until like middle of the year, maybe even, or a bit earlier than that. It is probably related to a few things that happened macroeconomically, including the presidency and so on. But it's also related to the overall cycle of the year, what happens all the time. So I think that might play out in the coming months, and maybe even the agent kind of topic is a narrative that will play their part in this. They play their role in this mechanism, because, like I said, they're bullish for crypto. So I think we had usually we always have one theme, right, of a bull market. Like it was NFTs before, then we had DeFi summer 2021 or 2020. So we had all those themes that are coming along, new innovations, big visions, things that spark your imagination of a bigger future. This time it's agents, and it just started, and it's going much quicker than everything before. So I think we're gonna see that in the next couple of months.
So except the AI agents, what are your current, let's say, top 3 or 5 hot narratives in crypto right now?
So I would say DeFi remains super relevant as always, especially on-chain trading versus off-chain trading. So perps, futures, and so on-chain. We see, I think December, January this time, we had the highest amount of on-chain trading on futures compared to centralized exchanges ever. So people are moving on-chain. Hyperliquid is a project that kind of did a very good, interesting approach to that. And they built a very good product. They had a great token launch as well, very community-centric. I like. So I think this is kind of a narrative that's interesting. So community first, token launches that will spark more on-chain trading. So on-chain trading, on-chain DEXs, and so on is a big narrative. Agents are definitely probably the hotter one right now. But agents include not only the agent tokens, it also includes the tooling and infra around it that we need for these people, for these agents to work with each other. So That includes payment infrastructure for agents, wallet infrastructure for agents, identity technology for agents. Like how can they maneuver with each other? How can we distinguish humans from bots and agents in the internet going forward? So all these topics are related to agents, but they're kind of sub themes, right? Sub narratives of the whole narrative. So I think that's something interesting to think about as well. Did I forget anything else that's hot right now? I think that's pretty much it that comes to mind for now. Yeah.
So what are your current thoughts about the memes? Let's say everyone is calling the meme coin super cycle, etc. Big hopes, let's say, selling the dream to the retail. What are your current?
Honestly, I don't know about. I'm not in that bubble. Like I'm not in the retail bubble, you know, that's kind of on Instagram and TikTok and looking at crypto from the outside. I'm like in this very small, you know, insider founder bubble of people. Like my Twitter is like only crypto founder investors, like very, you know, like that's the reality I see. I can give you the picture of that reality, which is limited, but I can give you that picture. And that picture is that memes are dead. They are they've been fun for a while until they made too many people lose money. Too much criticism came. Pump.fun was interesting at the beginning, but it turned out to be kind of a disaster on several instances. Like ethically, there were some very weird things going on Pump.fun. They made a shitload of money. They didn't behave very well with it, in my opinion, as a company. So a lot of things that I don't like about it, and other people also don't like about it. So I think it might be already the end of that super cycle. 2024 was the run for them. But the main two reasons for that is that it's over. Like we've seen it. It can't, like, attention is already sucked out of the meme market. B, too many people lost money. So if you burned your hands with memes 10 times, I don't know if you still want to play that fucking casino. Like you're gonna be like, ah, fuck, I'm gonna try something else now. And I literally know people like this, many of them, right? And then maybe even a third point is that this liquidity is just going somewhere else right now, right? So like if I need to decide between, you know, buying the next new hot agent or hot agent related infra project, or if I buy the next fucking donkey, then I will probably buy the agent infra tooling or agent bot kind of topic. So.
Okay. So the final topic is about let's say you're in Dubai right now. Can you give us to my audience how is in Dubai in terms of living there? It's everyone knows that it's the biggest crypto hub to meet people from all the other countries from the world, which are with big motivation, hustle guys, strong community, and so it has a price to pay. So can you give us your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, you have to probably experience yourself. And it's a very individual question, very personal question. You won't be happy in Dubai if you are, it won't change your happiness if you're naturally an unhappy person. It won't change anything. So it's not a quick fix or something. It might make it even worse because Dubai can be very exhausting because you have the percentage of people here that I would say are maybe not as positive and not as genuine, interested in you, and, you know, like, it's not the place where the most loving and kind humans live. Let's put it that way. Like that's at least, you know, so that is something that can be exhausting. So I wouldn't go here if you're completely alone, if you don't know anyone here, if you're coming here alone. I think it can be tough, honestly. If you already have at least 1 or 2 friends here, that is a good start because you need good people here. If you're in Dubai and you have the right amount of, like, the right circle of people here around you, good people, honest people that are having the same goals as you, very ambitious as well, but doing honest work, that is a nice, you know, circle to be around with here. You don't need many of them, just a handful as always, actually. But if you don't have them, either you're getting very lonely quickly because everyone is busy and everyone has their own life here, and you don't really connect deeply with anyone that's new. It's very difficult. So I think after a while you get lonely. And I say this out of experience, like for myself and also for a lot of friends. I have friends here that lived here for 2 years, 3 years, and so on. And at some point they leave again. They're like, okay, I have enough of this. So I think, you know, it's a bit critical, my take on it. But it is just the truth that it won't fix your shit if you don't have your shit together. But if you're an ambitious person, if you have like a few good people here already on the ground, and if you bring a little bit of money to have like an okay life here, then it's actually pretty good, right? Like it is a great. I love to be here, but in periods. I don't like to be here longer than 2-3 months. Yeah.
Like your honest opinion, man. So final thoughts. Let's say your top 3 crypto advice that you can give to my audience.
In terms of investing, right?
Yeah,
so that's
investing, risk management, protecting capital, spending money, diversification after the cycle. What you want?
Cool. Okay. Then let's do one of each category. Let's start with like security and kind of risk management. I think people sometimes forget that it's also important to talk about where you trade and how you trade and where you store your crypto. Like if you have larger holdings, like keep them either on a very, very big exchange. We know we saw big exchanges fail as well, but we learned from that. So I think right now we're pretty safe with Coinbase, Binance, and some of the big ones. I wouldn't keep it at the shitty ones, honestly. I wouldn't keep any big holdings on centralized exchanges. If you want to play it safe, put it on a fucking USB stick, put it on a ledger, put it on a Trezor, like get yourself a hardware wallet. It costs like $50. You plug it in your computer. It takes like maximum half an hour to know what's going on. And it's very easy to navigate. So if you invest in crypto and you're not only trading, but you're actually holding some spot, put them on a ledger. If you're trading and if you want to be a bit more nimble, then do it on a big exchange or even on a DEX. Our decentralized exchanges are now fucking good. So you can go to Hyperliquid if you want to do it cross-chain or more Ethereum-centric. You can go to GMX if you want to do it on Ethereum. Or if you are a good human, you will do it on Solana. And then you will go to someone like Drift, or you will use Jupiter Perps or something like this for bigger trades. So yeah, just be careful with where you have your crypto and where you trade it and so on, because there's always risk associated with it. That's one thing. Second thing I would say is zoom out. That was my intro advice that I gave at the beginning of the podcast. I'll say it again. Zoom out of the charts. Don't only do the fucking 15-minute thing. It gets exhausting after a while. If you're an intraday trader, sure, okay, do your thing. But if you also do a bit of swing trading here and there, if you want to hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, any of the big ones for longer term, just zoom out and look at where we are in the market right now, and don't get frustrated about it. And then hold on to your backs there, right? Maybe one more thing I would say for people that are not so familiar with crypto, make sure that you also check out what you can do with your crypto in decentralized finance. I think people forget that. There is a lot of DeFi apps on Solana where you can get a very good yield very easily on your stable coins, on your Bitcoin holding. Even right now, we have ways to basically bridge your Bitcoin to Solana network, then get a token that is matching one-to-one to your Bitcoin, and then do something with it in Solana. So there's a lot of yield opportunities, a lot of APY opportunities that you can get on the Solana ecosystem if you just want to make more money on your holdings. So check those out. Like make sure to explore what you can do there. Yeah, and I think Camino is a good start. That the token I mentioned earlier, like that would be a project where you can check it out. So yeah, I think those would be some of the advices.
Very great finish, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming into my channel and educating and giving your thoughts about the market, the cycles, and it will be my pleasure in the future to come and make your second time in my channel.
Appearance. Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Дайте един лайк. Благодаря ви всички да гледахте епизода до край и до следващия път. Бай-бай.